Can you imagine waking up one morning to find $5,000 directly deposited into your bank account? Not a dream, not a rumor, but a real check from the government. This isn't science fiction. Former President Donald Trump just made a statement that's got millions of Americans asking, is a new stimulus package about to be unveiled? And could it include a $5,000 payment for struggling families, retirees, and everyday working-class Americans? What does this mean for your family and your financial future? If you've been waiting, watching, hoping for real help to arrive, this might just be it. Now listen closely, because what we're about to reveal is based on real discussions, real data, and real political signals that are raising eyebrows in Washington, on Wall Street, and in households across the country. The idea of a new stimulus check is back, louder than ever. And this time, the number floating around isn't $1,200. It isn't $2,000. It's $5,000. And it's catching fire. Donald Trump recently spoke at a town hall meeting where he hinted at bold economic measures should he regain office. And among those bold proposals, financial relief aimed directly at the American people. He's no stranger to stimulus checks. In fact, he was one of the earliest and loudest voices to push for direct payments during the COVID-19 pandemic. But this time, the stage is different. And the stakes? Even higher. Americans today are still feeling the aftershocks of inflation, rising rents, soaring food prices, and economic uncertainty. For many, the pandemic might be in the rearview mirror, but the damage it left behind is very real. Bank accounts have been drained. Savings? Gone. Credit card debt? Skyrocketing. And while the stock market dances, millions of Americans are just trying to put food on the table. So when Trump said loud and clear that Americans deserve immediate and powerful financial relief, ears perked up, and not just from his supporters. Independents, Democrats, economists, all are listening. But let's pause for a second. What exactly did Trump say? And how real is this $5,000 stimulus idea? At a campaign event in early April, Trump addressed the struggles that everyday Americans are facing. He said, and I quote, "We gave Americans a relief they needed once, and we need to do it again. But this time it has to be bold. It has to be immediate. And it has to put real money into real people's hands." That statement was met with thunderous applause. But it didn't stop there. In a post on Truth Social, Trump later added, "The people need a jumpstart. $5,000 directly to working Americans could ignite our economy from the bottom up." Now, that's not an official policy yet, but make no mistake, when a former president and a leading 2024 contender starts floating a number like $5,000, Washington takes notice. And so does Wall Street. So does Main Street. And so should you. But let's get real here. Could this really happen? What would it take to make this kind of massive direct payment reality? Here's the truth. Stimulus checks don't just come out of thin air. They require legislation. That means Congress. That means votes. And that means political will. Right now, the political environment is fractured. Democrats and Republicans are locked in bitter battles over spending, budgets, and the direction of the country. But when it comes to putting money directly into the hands of voters, that's one thing almost every politician understands gets attention, and votes. Remember the first round of stimulus checks back in 2020? It wasn't easy, but it happened. And it happened fast by government standards. Why? Because pressure was high, and the people were demanding relief. Now, inflation may be down from its peak, but the financial pain hasn't gone away. In fact, for seniors, fixed-income families, and lower-wage workers, it's gotten worse. Groceries? Still up by 20 to 30% since before the pandemic. Rents? Climbing. Medical costs? Rising. And Social Security? It's not keeping up. The 2024 COLA adjustment was smaller than expected, and retirees are feeling squeezed. That's why this $5,000 number is hitting such a nerve. It isn't just a handout. It's a lifeline. And Trump, whether you love him or hate him, knows how to tap into that feeling, that anxiety, that need. Let's look at the logistics. A $5,000 check to every adult American would be a monumental undertaking, but not impossible. Remember, the U.S. government has already proven it can send out hundreds of millions of payments quickly and securely. The IRS infrastructure is in place. The Treasury has the systems. It's been done before. Economists? Divided. Some say this kind of stimulus would fuel inflation, but others argue a carefully timed payment targeted to those who need it most could actually stabilize the economy, boost consumer confidence, and prevent a potential recession. And here's the kicker. A large percentage of Americans say they'd use a $5,000 stimulus not for vacations or luxury, but for paying off debt, buying essentials, and covering overdue bills. In other words, it wouldn't just be stimulus, it'd be survival. So where do we go from here? Right now, Trump is rallying support around this concept. Behind the scenes, his team is reportedly drafting a more formal economic plan to be unveiled in the coming weeks. If this proposal makes it into his official campaign platform, and if he wins in 2024, expect this idea to move front and center in national debate. But he's not the only one floating economic relief ideas. Some progressive lawmakers are already proposing guaranteed income programs, expanded child tax credits, and yes, even more stimulus. The difference is Trump is using a big, bold number, $5,000. It gets attention, and that's by design. It also puts pressure on current lawmakers. If they see a rising wave of public support for another round of checks, especially from vulnerable voting blocs like seniors and low-income families, they might take action sooner than later, especially with a presidential election looming. So what can you do now? First, stay informed. This is still developing. Nothing has been passed. No checks are being sent out. Not yet. But you can bet the conversation is heating up, and we will keep you updated every step of the way. Second, make your voice heard. If you believe a new round of stimulus is needed, reach out to your representatives. Let them know what you're going through. Share your story. Demand action. Politicians listen to votes and to volume. Third, prepare. If a proposal like this does move forward, there will be eligibility requirements, income thresholds, tax return rules, direct deposit info. Start reviewing your records. Make sure your information with the IRS is up to date. Don't be caught off guard, because if and when this $5,000 check becomes more than just talk, you want to be ready. And finally, breathe. This economy has tested all of us. The last few years have been hard. For some, unbearably hard. But you are not alone. Millions of Americans are in the same boat, struggling, waiting, hoping. And together, we can make noise. We can push for policies that help real people, not just corporations or political agendas. So as we watch this story unfold, remember this. Your future isn't written yet. Your voice matters. And when enough people demand action, change happens. Trump's bold statement may just be the spark. The $5,000 may still be a proposal, but it's one that's catching fire. And if the momentum continues, we may see history repeat itself, with direct relief delivered right into the hands of the people who need it most. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you support a $5,000 stimulus check? Would it help you right now? What would you use it for? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, informative, or just eye-opening, do us a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Because trust me, there's more coming. We'll be right here covering every twist and turn, every official announcement, and every insider scoop. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay informed, and as always, take care of yourself and your loved ones. We'll see you in the next video.